Last time on Wayward Bound.
A 3-story pirate ship flies through glass, green and purple hues surrounding it, and in a flash of blinding light, it is gone. You see a familiar hood again, looking at some jewelry that the local blacksmith has put out, talking to them about random words that you haven't really heard before. Make sure that your brother doesn't hang out much with that half-elf today.
Yeah. I'll go find him. What was that half-elf's name again?
I don't know, Saul something?
Is it just me, or the crows are kinda... I don't know, the crows are just seeming a lot today. I'm just, looking around at them in the sky.
You're listening to Wayward Bound, an inspired Spelljammer campaign. A very quick thanks to Nick Spurrier for our intro overture.
What if these crows are the crows that we saw for the arch?
That would be quite the coincidence.
But what if they're spying on us? What if this is gonna happen again?
Like we get teleported to a new world or something?
Yeah. That's exactly what I mean.
Well, I guess we better figure out what these crows want.
They want mom's pies. But I mean, who doesn't? I don't know. They were watching me. They looked like they were gonna go after the pie, but if they're spies, maybe it was that they were actually looking at me. Looking around, trying to look at all the crows to catch them, to see if I could catch one of them looking at us.
Roll.
That's a 15. I rolled a 10.
As soon as you look at one of the crows notices, makes eye contact with you. Only one of them. The other ones do not care. And it just calls out.
It caws out?
Yeah, it calls out as it stares you in the eyes and then flies back to Els.
Warden, I'm gonna go make sure. I think I left my quarterstaff in Solidel's cart. I'm gonna go get it.
All right.
What are you gonna do with the taco? You just running with a taco?
Oh, I already ate the taco.
You devoured it in one bite.
Not one bite, but I really like this.
Okay, so you go back. As you enter, you notice Solidel has set up his herbs and stuff out on the windowsill where he plans to do his exchange of business. And as you enter the door frame, which is propped open, you see Solidel still working at it.
Hey, Solidel.
Oh, hi, Hector.
Just a heads up. My mom is still calling you that half-elf, so just maybe not projecting your voice out for the whole town to hear where they might be judging you.
I'm just here to run a shop, and yes, I can understand why your mom is holding over everything I did when I was 16 years old against me still.
I mean, she's a mom. That's what they're supposed to do, right? Or that's what they have to do, right?
You didn't really get to know my parents very well, did you?
No.
Trust me, I get it from them. I promise I was always trying to do the right thing. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I understand that. I just wanted you to know my mom still refers to you as that half elf. So just the older generation might have a little bit of opinions still.
I'm pretty sure some of my mates from back then, like I think one of them's even on the guard now. I guess everyone else got to see them grow up. I'm the one that got shunted away for 2 years.
I'm not siding with her.
No, I get it.
I wanted to make sure you knew.
I was a overly self-righteous idiot. And I'm maybe at least slightly better now. Maybe.
Just say that, within her hearing range, and probably things will be good again.
If you think she'll be willing to see me after the shops close down for the day, I will come by and give my apologies.
I'll bring her if she seems receptive.
During this heartfelt conversation, a crow swoops in through the window and lands on the cart that is propped by the back opening and is looking around the cart.
It's a day for the birds, isn't it?
It's the birds, the crows, because there were the crows yesterday, and then there's the crows now that are very interested specifically in me and Rordan, and apparently you too. We need some popcorn for it. Lead it outside.
I did make the mistake of feeding one earlier. Yeah, I'll sprinkle some food out back. Do you think so? I mean, maybe it's just because they saw us and they recognize us. I mean, why does it have to mean anything more than that?
Because remember, we went to a scary, weird, abandoned, except for gargoyles and crows dimension yesterday? Like, I don't know. I don't want to do that again. I don't know about you.
No, I don't. Look, I just want to run my shop, live a peaceful life, and hopefully get married to the young woman I care about.
Hmm. So you do want to get married?
I wasn't going to ask her right away. I want to make sure things get set up well in town, but unfortunately, I lost my locket. You can't remember if I even saw it since yesterday, but it wasn't here when we got to town. So I'm worried I dropped it in the midst of everything that happened yesterday.
Can I roll to remember if I saw the locket? Or like last time I remembered the locket?
You can roll for that.
Oh, cool. 17.
You're trying to think back in your brain. You're scrolling back to yesterday. You remember seeing it on him, on his neck. You remember seeing it on him as he came into town. And then this is the first time you're seeing him since you came into town, and he does not have it on him. You do remember the shining of a silver locket, but you don't know if it was Solidel's or not, because it's a very common shaped locket being shown to a vendor in town. As you're trying to recall this, before you can even get a word out to Solidel, you see a crow try to pick up your quarterstaff out of the pile.
Hey, that's mine.
I will help shoo the crow too. Shoot!
You can't even pick up a quarterstaff. You are like 4 pounds.
The crow does not give a damn about what you're saying.
Why is it going after your quarterstaff and not mine?
I mean, I was the only one that hit.
That's correct. This clarification, does Hester have any decorations on her quarterstaff that would attract a crow?
So it has like super shiny brass caps on the ends, and they're like fine etchings on the sides, but then there's like the end itself is smooth.
It's trying to get the top part off of the staff. It's trying to grab the shiny part.
Hey, stop that! And I just like try and whack at it, like shoo! Like I'm shooing it while also almost gonna hit it to try and get it to leave.
I'm sure it just wants it for its nest. You know, they collect shiny things.
You could not fit inside of this brass cap. Go away. This isn't. And it's not like a bottle cap. It's like a big, like 2-inch diameter, 3-inch diameter circle.
As you do that and you try to shoo it, it like hops away, but then it like pops onto your head.
Can I use my magic to just like create a little burst of light to try to scare it off?
Sure.
Shoo!
That does the trick and flies off through the window.
Ah,
What did I do? Why are the birds? I don't know. This is weird.
maybe lean into it. It could be your new thing.
The string! Does anyone want popcorn on a string? You hear from the window as a vendor is walking around.
Warden follows him.
There's a crow sitting on top of his head, looking at the popcorn.
I haven't eaten anything since we got back to town.
Try the tacos. They're good.
I'm sorry, the what? Sure. Tacos.
I'm not sure. Ask for the taco with the big egg.
I'm probably just gonna grab some that if a vendor comes by my stand with selling some stuff on the move.
Meat! Hot axe meat! Anyone want meat from a hot axe? There's someone going across outside from the window. Like you can see him passing by, and he has an axe in his hand, and the blade is red hot, and there's meat on top of it sizzling. Hot axe meat! Anyone want hot axe meat?
Can you just watch this out for just a second while I grab some of that?
Sure.
Thanks.
Ah, yes, Soledad.
Hi.
Hi.
You.
Yeah, Jimmy. It's
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
All right, Jimmy. It's been a while since we've run into each other.
I came to your place out in the forest just last week. Don't you remember?
I'm sorry. Apparently not. I've had a lot on my mind lately. It's been an exciting week.
You know what? Crows do that.
Yes, the crows.
Crows cause confusion. I think so. The rest of the world doesn't. What you know about this guy is that this particular guy believes in a lot of crackpot stories, like things that don't make any sense to anyone else, and they all think he's crazy.
Yeah. So, how much for some meat?
Ooh, for you, normally, because this is like hard to hold, it's hot, and normally I charge 2 bronze pieces, but for you, my friend, 1 bronze.
Ah, thank you. Yes, here, let me get that for you.
Yeah, give it to the crow.
Oh, okay.
This is Tommy. He collects all my coins. Keeps them safe for me.
What are you putting on the meat this time?
That is a good question. I think this round is just meat. It's just burnt flesh.
You know what? I was repackaging and stuff. I had a little bit of some herbs left over. It's a little blend. It'll give a nice earthy taste to the meat. It'll accent it without overpowering it.
Are you selling this at your shop?
I'm selling bigger packets at the shop, but this is just a little bit for you to try.
Okay. If I like it, can I take that little piece and display it, and I can send work your way?
Yes. And if anyone asks for recommendations about food, I'll send them your way.
Great minds think alike. Love this. Okay. Put it on the blade, and then I'll add some more meat.
Okay. Yeah, I very carefully apply the herbs to the blade so it sinks into the meat.
He puts the meat on top of it, and then now put some more on top of the meat.
Sprinkle it on.
And then watch this. Watch this new talented. I'm so talented. This is the best thing ever. It's food and a show, and it's served on an axe. He takes the handle of the axe and he sort of forces it upward, making the meat flip through the air, and then he catches it back on the hot axe so that it can sizzle and burn the other side.
Ah, huzzah!
But thank you.
There you go. Let's see if I can bring some more attention this way. Do you want to do it again, or just need to do it the once for the cooking?
Well, first off, I have to taste this meat before I bring attention, because I'm not going to sell my customers bad tasting meat.
Of course not.
So he's gonna take a bite of it, and he loves it. What's in the spices? No, don't tell me. But yes, no, I sort of need to know to sell it, but at the same time, I don't want to. I guess just tell me what you call this blend so I can tell my customers what it's called.
It's got some usual things. It's got some oregano, some thyme, some basil, but it was really put together by my two mentors at the Hermitage. I'm still developing my palate myself, but I know this is good.
Okay, if you don't have a name for it, might I suggest Time Sol? Like time, like THIMESOL. Time Sol.
Okay, thyme salt, yes. It's a blend of herbs to give a light taste to your food.
Here's your piece of meat. I will take that in exchange. You don't have to. Here's your bronze back.
No, keep
I'll
it. It's
no.
fine.
I'll take it in exchange for this small pouch of seasoning, and then I can season my meat.
Excellent. I'm glad you like it.
And I will send them your way if they like it. Always a pleasure, Solidel. I will see you around. Make sure to spread the word. Hot meat on an axe.
Same to you, Jimmy. Good fortune to you.
And he skimpers off. The crow on his head is like making like biscuits with his paws, sort of. It's like just stomping. But it looks like it's making biscuits.
Thank you, Hester. Sorry, I just kind of like made a deal back there. Well, I guess if your mom's worried about your brother hanging around with me, you probably shouldn't either, but
I'm not the one my mom expects to get into trouble. So I mean, I'm not the one who's lied about where I am repeatedly while getting up to shenanigans that she doesn't approve of. So, yeah, I'm good. And if she catches us, I'll just say I was telling you to stay away from Wardan.
well, and unsurprisingly, we apparently have a pickpocket in town. A good one, too.
The crows.
Could it be the crows? I'd like to think I would notice if a crow landed on me and stole my locket. Unless I don't know, maybe it just came untied and fell off on the way into town. I should try not to think the worst of people, right?
Right. Don't think the worst of people, but who knows what crows are motivated by?
They like food. They like shiny things. And yeah, if I see more crows doing weird stuff, I'll keep an eye out for the crows.
As you're talking about this, you hear the mayor's voice amplify as he's getting everyone's attention.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Mayor Sweetbriar. Yes, thank you. Holy buzz, thank you. Today is Founders Day. Today is the biggest, grandest, just all around best Founders Day yet. We celebrate today our centennial as a community. Peaceful waters, everyone! Yes. It was 100 years ago today that our forebears and 4 orcs and 4 minotaurs and 4 centaurs and I kid. I know 4 bears. You get it? Yeah. Anyways. It is 100 years ago today that ground was first broken on our settlement, our beautiful community that has flourished over the last 100 years. Our forebears founded Peaceful Waters as a place to escape persecution by those who had preconceived notions about our races. They thought minotaurs were menacing and centaurs would just gallop through town and never pay their bills. They thought orcs were ruthless, and on and on and on. All these terrible things people assumed of us just because of our races. Our founders founded Peaceful Waters as a place to reset their community, start over from scratch to build a place where all are equal all are peaceful and we do not value violence. We do not follow the strongest leader or the biggest leader by fault. We elect people democratically to mayorship and other important city positions. They built Peaceful Waters from the ground up. It is a place, as they purposely named it, Peaceful Waters, to remain calm and serene and escape the cultures we came from, or they came from, where life was just rougher and tougher and more violent and more chaotic. They wanted a place where they could be themselves without fear of judgment from others or fear of persecution for not following orders to do violence. And we are here. Our community has grown and grown, and we are all here today to celebrate their memories and their values and our values. We have this celebration every 25 years. Yes, some of you may remember the 75th anniversary, and yes, I do see some folks in the back who remember even the 50th and the 25th anniversary of the founding of our community. We continue their legacy and desire to cultivate peace with oneself, with others, and with the land we live on. We no longer use violence to solve our issues. We use debate and elections and ballot measures to make sure everyone's voices are heard and no one feels left out and no one feels forced to do what they don't want to do. Thank you all, and go and enjoy the wonderful celebration we have in store.
As the speech is going on, are you listening? Are you trying to keep cleaning? What do you want to do? Do you wander to town and take a seat or stand behind the seats?
If I can hear from my shop, I'll stay there. I might go outside the door and just lean against the front of the shop.
Hester, Rorden?
Wander away from the shop, given our mother.
Yeah, probably go towards the middle of town where they're having the speech.
So this mayor's speech is going on when a familiar-looking female elf walks out of her shop and sees Solidel leaning against the door frame of his new shop. She stands there for a moment listening to the mayor and then just does not care what he's jabbering about, walks up to Solidel. Sort of makes the same pose that Solidel's doing while leaning against the other side of the door frame. She says, I see you made it into town safely.
Yesterday was a bit more eventful than any of us would have liked and ended up delaying us. We barely got here in time for me to get set up for the festival. How are you doing?
Elle, when you ask that and you look at her, she seems fine. She's twisting one of her rings around her finger 3 times anti-clockwise and then leaving it alone, and then grabs a hold of one of her necklaces. She's a centric character that tends to dress, let's just say, differently from the rest of the townsfolk. She tends to have a lot of jewelry on, wears her signature top that is half chainmail, half fabric, that shows off her her stomach, with a skirt that has 2 cuts on each side to show off her thighs and legs. I'm doing fine. I need you and your friends to come see me in the shop after this speech is over. Or now. But I mean, I wouldn't want to go walk over and tell them during the mayor's speech. The mayor might find that offensive.
No, I'll bring everything in and I'll talk to them after the speech. That way, I'll be closed up by then. Have you seen Celerel? Is she in town? I wanted to run off to find her as soon as I got here, but I've been telling myself I'm going to try to be more responsible about the things I promised to do. I was really hoping she'd just make it this way by happenstance.
Elle gives a small little smile and then allows it to fade off her face. No, she is not going to be present this summer.
Oh, I'm sure I will see her again soon enough. I hope.
Also, I think you dropped this. And she hands you your locket.
I did. Thank you for returning it. I hope it wasn't any trouble.
None at all. Just remember to get your friends over here to the shop.
And thank you again.
Yeah, not a problem. And she wanders off back to her shop.
So yeah, Solidel will, since people are listening to the speech anyway, he'll start packing his stuff up. It's probably the end of his business day anyway.
The mayor is wrapping up his speech. He reminds everyone to stop by the tavern for some free fried pickles and pickled eggs. Do a perception check. Anyone that wants to do a perception check.
That's not good. 13.
14. Hey, that's passable. Passing fair.
Rorden, what did you roll?
I got a 14 total.
Everything seems to be going according to plan, according to the mayor's plan. Nothing looks out of sight. Like, everything looks great. You notice everyone showed up. Everyone from the village showed up. It's a packed square. No one seems to be trying to steal anything from each other's booths. The pros are all on top of a wishing well in the center of town, or the water well, which people throw coins in anyway, even though that's where you get your water from. There are no, hoods up. Everyone's, has been, paying attention to the mayor with respect. Nothing, no hats, no hoods, cloaks or any kind blocking any view, as it would have been a sign of disrespect. But yeah, everyone's getting up and going to their booths again. Some of them seem like they're gonna wrap up for the day so that they can go to the tavern. Others are just trading posts with family members so that the booths can stay up. There is a craft booth with yarn and paintings.
So after I close up my shop, I'll go look for Rorden and Hester.
Listening from our mom's shop. I'm hoping for pies. This one couldn't, it cracked and we couldn't serve it to people. So I'm like, okay, I'll take care of it. Or something. That's what I'm hoping for.
That seems like a noble goal.
Ostensibly, I'm helping clean up.
Yeah, I would. So I'd probably head to Seraphina's booth since I know Hester's probably there.
That's dangerous, but okay.
I'm not here to hide from my past actions.
Seraphina sees you coming and exhales loudly. Can you deal with this next customer? I'm gonna check on this pie. It's double for him. Whatever pie he wants, it costs double. I'm gonna go to the back.
I silently mouth, I'm sorry at him. Yeah, I don't know how well it's gonna go talking to her right now. You might want to start with someone easier. Like the mayor or really anybody else.
Jimmy likes me just fine, even after I forgot his name.
Yeah, well, Jimmy works with crows.
I know.
As of yesterday, apparently crows don't like me anymore. They never liked me before, but they never disliked me either.
Elle is also talking to me, and she asked for me, you, and Rorden to come by her shop to talk to her. She didn't say much about what it's about. She did say that Celerel is not in town this summer, so...
Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry.
I knew there was a chance she would be back with her parents.
Oh.
Presuming that's where she is.
I was looking forward to events.
Perhaps I shall write her a letter. Maybe I should write your mom a letter. She might actually read something instead of talking to me.
Yeah, actually, that would be good. Why don't you do that? And I can try and give it to her maybe tomorrow when she's not been on her feet all day and stuff. She'd be more receptive, maybe.
Maybe. Any idea where Rorden is, though?
I don't know, just a sec. Mom, I'm gonna go find Rorden. Okay, let's go. And I take off the apron that I was wearing and head off, licking pie crumbs off my fingers.
She didn't hear you say goodbye, and she walks out with a pie and was about to start saying, take this to Lynn. And, oh, you're not here anymore. Okay.
Does she see who I'm walking away with?
Yes, and because of it, her temper gets a little bit uncontrollable, and she ends up breaking the pie. It gets away from her. Her temper gets away from her, and she ends up cracking the pie in half.
Terrible waste of pie.
And you know what? I'm beginning to think maybe these anger issues aren't one-sided.
Minotaurs are emotional people.
Scene. Y'all go find Rorden. As you're going find Rorden, a King Coon walks into town and is staring at the well.
It's not someone we know, right?
Nope. Rorden, what are you doing?
I had said that I had gone in the middle of town to listen to the speech or whatever.
Right, and the speech is now over and everyone's sort of dispersing, so where are you going?
I think I would try to see if there were any other crows walking around. Hester got me kind of curious to see if anything else strange was going on. So I think I'm just kind of walking around town, seeing if I can find anything strange happening.
Where are your eyes? Up, down, left, right?
I think primarily up, since the crows are what got the attention. Not straight up, but like a rooftop sort of and perches and.
What about towards the forest? If I was there, I'd be like, oh shit, what's going on in the forest? Because that's where we encountered the crows yesterday.
Yeah, I think Rorden's just more curious to see if anything other wacky is going on in town.
You don't notice anything.
Okay.
In fact, you don't see any crows. Except for the one that's on Jimmy's head.
That's even weirder. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily be trying to find them. I would just be kind of ambling about town.
As you're wandering around, this Kinku comes up to you and opens up. He's wearing a trench coat. He opens up the trench coat and he has a bunch of pocket watches just hanging there, and he just points with his feathers. He just points at it as if trying to get you to buy one without saying anything.
I'm good, thank you. I can tell the time by the sun.
Okay, and so with that, he closes that side of his coat. He opens the other one, and it's just sundials, tiny sundials.
Again, I don't need instruments.
The Kinku raises one of his feathers, wings, and then he looks. He turns around and he lowers his cloak some, the hood of his cloak, and there are inside of it are marbles, and he shakes it, and you can hear him shake, and he's trying to turn his head to look at you from, the side, a side view eye, seeing if you buy some marbles.
What are the marbles for? Do they do anything?
He can't reply to you. He doesn't understand you.
I'm going to leave.
What is that Kinku? Is he flashing Rorden? And I run up there and I try to cover Rorden's eyes, and then I'm like, what are you? Okay, you're just selling stuff. Never mind.
The Kinku then sees you, and after attempts with Rorden went wrong, does the same exact thing with you. Opens the right side of the coat and points out all the pocket watches. Some are shiny, some have mechanical outlines where you can see the clock on the inside. These are obviously from a city, the likes of which are not in this village. And then there's one that looks sort of like a canteen, but small. He's just pointing at him.
They're very shiny. When he points at the canteen one, I'm gonna say, what is that one?
He lifts up a feather and then he takes it off, and he shows you on the top. There's a mechanical like dial. Looks like a wind, what you would on a pocket watch to wind it, but in reality, he pulls it up, and the front part goes down, and there's a clock, and then he closes it, and then he pulls it up twice, and then it comes out completely. He pours it over, and liquid comes out. So it's like a dual canteen watch.
Is it like a tiny little liquid thing, or is it like magical pours more out than it could hold?
You would have to do a magical check to see if it holds any magical properties.
I will finally saunter up to the group by this point. Everything all right here?
Yeah, it's fine. He's just sales showing us his wares rather than showing himself like I thought.
He opens up the other one where the sundials were, and they're no longer sundials. They're lockets of different sizes and proportions.
Did you find your locket?
Yes, it ended up in Elle's hands, and she gave it back to me.
Oh, okay. Do you think? I mean, that can't. Did you see the canteen watch?
I mean, I saw you messing with something.
It's very cool. Sir, could you show us the canteen one again?
He nods his head like a bunch, and then he pulls out the canteen one again and pulls up the lever on the top once, and the part hiding the clock face drops, and he does it 2 more times, and that top part comes out. He pours it over, and some liquid comes out and drops on the ground.
Can I tell if it's magic?
Gotta roll.
11.
I have a +1 and I got a 21.
The liquid part of it does light up, but the liquid part of it is not the magical part.
Wait, I think I've read about this. Yeah, how much for that?
He digs through all his like trench coat pockets to find his like little like sign, and then remembers that it's on the back of his trench coat underneath. So he takes off the trench coat, which when he does, like all the items that you saw have disappeared, and he shows you the inside of the back of it, and it has listed out the prices of things. And for canteens, it says drinking stuff, 5 gold.
Oh, I don't think I have that much.
In the fine print at the very bottom, it says, or you can do a quest for me.
I look at Rordan and Solidel, like eyebrows raised, like, do you wanna?
I told Elle we'd go see her.
Oh, okay.
Yet Roard and Elle wants to see us.
Can I come back and talk to you later?
Maybe tomorrow.
Yes, will you be in town tomorrow still?
He shakes his head no.
Okay, maybe later tonight.
Yeah. We're gonna go talk to someone and then I will find you tonight.
He shakes his head yes, and wanders off while putting his coat back on.
Curious fellow. I've got a little spending cash, but most of it's tied up in the shop.
I got my, like, I knew I would be spending money, so I like just hastily got all of my money, like scooped them up into my little coin purse when I went home to get the pies.
Y'all head down the path to Elle's shop. Elle's shop is, as mentioned before, a little bit of everything. She's the person that you go to when you don't know where else to go to. She can help you figure out where you need to go or what you need. When you enter the shop, it seems very small for the size of the building. Most people just assume she lives in the back and that's just her private space. The shop itself is unlike the other shops, it's very much more like you would see in a city versus a village. The floors are made to look like solid gold. The walls are black with inlays and like designs in them. And the roof is bewitched to look like the sky depending on the time of the day. The actual products in the store, there's a couple tables, like round tables, some with candles, some with stones. There are a couple of like things made to burn, sort of like incense, but it's her own like creation. She has a cabinet, like a glass cabinet, with items that look odd, like little oddities, including like a small deck of cards, a contraption that clips onto a belt and holds like multiple things, like a little pill container, a little pocket watch, just little knickknacks that this contraption can hold on one spot on your belt. And then she has some like skulls and bones in an inlay shelf in the back by the door that leads to her private area. As you enter, the bell on the door goes off.
Elle, we're here.
Elle walks out of the back room, closes the door behind her, and looks at all of you. Close the blinds and lock the door.
You've just listened to another episode of Wayward Bound, featuring AJ as Solidel, Raz as Hester, and Caleb as Rordan. Music overture by Nick Spurrier. Editing by Leland Steele. Want to interact with the cast and crew? Become a Patreon member today. Check out the episode description for more information.